All right, so here we are back to our study guide review. So here, this is where we left off yesterday. We are now going to complete the chapter 5 section. So here we are, 25, okay? What are the tracking methods used for inventory? A, right? Periodic and perpetual. Pretty straightforward, right? It's not calendar year or fiscal year. It's definitely not cash or accrual basis. And it's definitely not accounting period and accounting cycle, right? Number 26, okay? What are the costing methods used in inventory? Yes, okay. I will maybe ask you this again on the exam, all right? It's important that you know specific ID is, in fact, a costing method. We just don't learn it in class, okay? Number 27, okay? An auto repair shop inventory is based on a car manufacturer or brand of the models, right? It's also, they keep track of their car parts, okay? So if the inventory is based on those three criteria, okay, this is an example of what kind of inventory costing method? A, specific ID, yes, because once again, right, even though we didn't learn it, I do expect you to know what it is used for. So again, when you are looking at an inventory that is specific to a car part or have specific criteria that it must meet, then you're looking for something that is a specific particular item or product that only is specified based on those criteria. I don't know why I said that, but anyways, yes, perfect, good. All right, number 28, okay, when delivery charges are made on COD, what does that mean? C, yes, cash on delivery, right? It is not currently ordered discharge, not code on demand, and it's definitely not crate on departure. All right, pretty close, but it's cash on delivery. All right, number 29, okay? What is the definition of periodic and perpetual? A, right? Periodic means once in a while, perpetual means constantly. Yes. Okay, I may ask you that on the exam as well, right? Numbers 30, okay? True or false? Okay, at the end of the period, okay, made on a periodic tracking method, a conversion entry is required. Yes. Okay, remember, when we're dealing with periodic inventory, right, we recognize the inventory items as an expense, and then at the end of the given period, we must do a conversion entry, which converts the expense into actual inventory, okay? So yes, that is true. So let's go ahead and take a look at this scenario here. We're going to be practicing each and every single costing method that is there that we taught in this class. So here's the first one. Okay, so use the following information with the table to answer the next two questions. So here, most important thing that you want to look for is your tracking and costing method are periodic FIFO. That's very important. Okay, so now we know it's going to be first in, first out. So let's go through each scenario. Number 1, or I guess on June 1st, okay? You purchase 100 toys costing $1 each with the freight costing you $25. So what do we do?
The date will be the first.
So
100. Then dollar per unit cost to give you a purchase expense of $100.
Perfect. $1.25. Okay. This is a simplified version of obviously the inventory worksheet. I just did it on here just so that when we do the study guide, instead of having to lug that huge sheet around, this is pretty much all I need. Okay. All right. So then what happened on June 10th?
Purchased 200 toys at $1.25 each with a freight cost of $50.
Okay, so there we are. So June 10, we purchased another 200 items at $1.25 with a freight of 50. So what is my total purchase price here?
$250,
Plus my freight gives me a total cost of,
$300,
making my cost per item to be
$150.
$1.50. Good. Okay. So then what happened on June 12th?
You sold 200, but really do not have to put in the purchase. Just note it for later.
Perfect. Good.
So that no sales tax, that's just for this example. It's not like all time, right?
Yeah. Because for the exam, I'm not gonna have you guys calculate sales tax. This is the for example, this is just exactly what you said. It's just for the test only. Okay. So yes, good. So you recognize that we sold something, but you're right. We don't need to place it into the inventory worksheet. So then we can go ahead and skip that and wait for later. So then what happened on June 15?
Up to 300 toys at $1.50 each.
With the freight costing you 75. So here we are, 615, 300 toys at $1.50 with a freight costing you 75. So what is my total purchase price here?
$4.50.
450 total.
Plus the 75, $5.25.
525. What's my cost per item?
$1.75.
$1.75. Okay, good. All right, so then what happened on June 20th?
We sold 250 toys.
Okay, good. So what do I do with this? Nothing. Good.
Nothing.
So then here's my note here. What happened at the end of the month on June 30th?
You had 150 toys on hand.
Yes, so this is going to be given. So what do we do now? What do we have to do first before we can complete the rest of this?
Total your quantities, your purchase expense, your freight expense, and total cost.
Good. So what is my total quantity?
600.
600.
600. Okay, what's my total purchase price?
800.
And then what is my total freight?
150.
150. And lastly, what's my total cost?
950.
Oop, 950. Sorry, fat fingered that one. Okay. So let's solve for my cost of goods sold. So if I have 150 left on inventory, how many items did I sell?
450.
You sold 450. Okay. So what is my tracking method what's my costing method? Excuse me.
FIFO.
FIFO. So what are we going to take out first?
The first batch.
First batch of 100 at what price?
125.
125, which should give you a total of
125.
125, okay? What's the next batch I'm going to take?
The second.
Mm-hmm. For the full 200 at what price?
$300.
Dollar.
$1.50, yes, which does give you 300. Good. Last but not least, right? That's a total of 300 items. How many more do I need to sell?
150.
150 at what price?
175.
175. So let's calculate that.
262.50.
262.50. All right, let's add up our totals, right? We have a total quantity of 450. What is my total cost going to be?
687.50.
680, 687.50.
Yes.
All right. If I'm given that, then what is my total ending balance?
262.50.
All right. Good. So let's see what the next question asks you. Question 31. What is the total cost of your ending inventory?
C.
C. 262.50. So that's the exact thing I'm going to ask you, okay? And then number 32 says, what is the total cost of your cost of goods sold?
See?
C. All right. Now, for this example or for this exam, I'm going to give you simplified numbers like this, okay?
Where did you get the 687?
We added up our total cost right here. Right? We sold 100 items, we sold another 200 items, and we sold 150 out of the third batch. So add these three numbers together and you should get 687.50.
And then you subtract it from the 950.
Correct. And you subtract it from the 950 to get your ending balance of 262.50. Good. Okay. So for this exam, I'm going to give you simplified numbers just like this, okay? Nothing more, nothing less, because I'm not going to have you guys sit there and calculate, 20th decimals. No. The only one that require you to do is going to be weighted average, just because weighted average, there's no there could be possible that you could get even numbers, but for most cases, usually you don't get even numbers. But it's pretty simple. As long as you can, round your number towards the end, you should be fine because the answer should be there. Okay, so good. So that was that one. Right? Any other questions for this one? This is example of FIFO.
No.
Okay. So let's go ahead and do the same exact one, except this time we are dealing with weighted average. Okay, so make sure that you read carefully. It says right here, your tracking and costing method is periodic weighted average. So let's start. It did?
Yeah, you're still on the other.
Then first
We're
out.
still on FIFO.
Okay, so now this time we're looking at this next question. So here again, using the information from below with a table, answer the next two questions. So once again, most important thing that you want to look for is your tracking and costing method is periodic weighted average. So once again, let's go ahead and compute this. So on June 1st, what happened here?
You
You
bought
purchased
100.
100 toys.
Mm-hmm. So June 1st. We bought 100 toys at $1 each with the freight costing you $25. So what's my purchase price?
$125.
Okay, that's total cost. So total cost is $125. Bringing your cost per item to be,
$1.25.
okay. Once again, you could do that for practice purposes only. Just know that when you're dealing with weighted average, it's not necessary to calculate that, but I'll do it for practice purposes only. All right, so then what happened on June 10?
You bought 200 at a unit cost at 125. Purchase expense is $250. Freight expense is $50. Total cost is $300. Cost per item is $1.50.
Good. All right. So this is the same exact scenario, except different costing method. So we'll just go ahead and proceed to the next one. So June 15, what did you do?
Purchase 300 toys at $1.50 each. So your purchase expense was $4.50. Add $75 for freight. The total cost of $5.25. Cost per item is $1.75.
Okay. So once again, then in June 30th, we have the given information here that you have a total of 150 toys. So once again, I've already given you there. So what was my total again? 600 items at 800 with a freight of 150. Total cost gives you 950. So now, what do I need to do next?
You can figure your cost per item, which is 1.58333333.
Okay, good, excellent. So if I started out with 600 and I have 150 left, how many items did I sell? 450. So once again, I'm going to be calculating this. So 450, right? What's my average cost per item again? 1583333. So what's my total cost going to be?
711.
712.50. Right? Remember, we got to round your answers towards the end. So in this case, I need to keep that 18158333333. I need to keep that in my calculator. And then I'm going to multiply that by the 450 to give me a number, which that's where I'm going to round off to. So it should be 712.50. It should have came out even. Okay.
Where did we get the 158?
You're going to take your total cost of 950 and you're going to divide it by your total quantity of 600. So here, I guess I'll show you right here.
Okay.
Right? Because we're taking the weighted average. We don't care about, so 950 divided by 600 should give you 1.583333. Okay. All right, so now that we have our average cost per item, because we don't care about what came first, we don't care about what came last, all we care about is our total quantity and our total cost of 950. All right, so now we have 712.50. So what is going to be my ending balance? 237.50. Right? We just take the 950, subtract out the 712.50 to get you your 237.50. So let's answer the question. Okay, so what is the total cost of your ending balance? B. 237.50. All right, what is the total cost of your ending inventory? What is your total cost of your cost of goods sold? I'm still stuck on the other question. A. Yes. All right. Boom. See? So make sure that you understand the question that's asking, right? I will ask you this exact question. What is your total cost of your ending inventory? What is your total cost of your cost of goods sold? Okay. Pretty simple. If you solve for your table, you should be able to get these answers, okay? As long as you understand and know exactly what you are doing, okay? So once again, now this time we're going to be doing the same exact thing, except we are looking at periodic LIFO. So just to save some time, because it's identical, okay? The only difference here is that we are looking at a different costing method. I'm just going to go ahead and pull the information from this right here, right? Because once again, it's identical information. Okay, so there we are, right? The only thing we don't have here is we don't need this average cost per item because what are we dealing with? We're dealing with what kind of costing method this time?
LIFO.
LIFO, right? Last ones in are going to be the first one out. So once again, if we have 600 and we have 150 remaining, how much did I sell?
450.
450.
450. So once again, now I'm going to be taking a look at calculating my cost per item. So I'm sorry, calculating my total cost of goods sold. So which batch am I going to be taking out from first?
300.
You're going to take out of the 300 batch, which in this case, we're taking out the whole thing for $1.75, which should give you a total of the 525. Okay. Now we sold 300. How many more do we need to sell?
150.
We only need 150, which in our batch, which batch are we taking out from?
June 10th.
The 200 batch, which in this case, we're not going to use all of it. So therefore, we need to calculate the cost per item. So in this case, we're going to take 150 and we're going to multiply it by the cost per item of 150. So what was that?
25.
225, all right? Add those totals up, and what is your ending balance? Or I'm sorry, your total cost of goods sold, 750. All right? 525 plus 225 should give you 750, which then, what is my ending balance going to be?
$200.
It's going to be $200, right? So right there, question number 35 asks you,
Yeah, just for a quick second.
go for it.
Okay.
Okay. So here we solved for our cost of goods sold for the 750. We also solved for our ending balance to be 200 by utilizing the costing method of LIFO, right? We took from the last batch of 300, then we took away from the second batch right here of the 200 to get us a grand total of the 750. Okay, so let's answer the questions. What is the total cost of your ending inventory?
200.
B, 200. Right? What is the total cost of your cost of goods sold?
B.
750. Good. Right? So like I said, like I've mentioned before, every single one, this is a perfect example of exactly what's going to be on the test. I'm going to ask you this exact, not the exact question, but similar to this one, right? I'm only going to ask you based on the purchases. And I'm going to have you utilize the costing method to figure out these two things right here, the ending balance and the cost of goods sold. And I'm going to ask you exactly the way right here. What is your total cost of your ending inventory? What is your total cost of your cost of goods sold? Those are the two questions I'm only going to be asking you. Okay? Now, but for this one, right, we have to answer the next, for questions 35 through 40. So here is going to be an example of me asking you, okay? So question number 37, okay? If on June 15, the terms are 5% 15 net 30, and you decided to pay, okay, the vendor on June 30th, how much is your purchase discount? So let's take a look. What was it?
B,
B. How did you get 2250?
because I went back up and got the, let me scroll up here.
I got D.
Yeah, I went with the
Oh, I know
10
where I messed up.
at 150 each. Okay, and then what I did was I did the
Perfect. Okay, you we said the purchase on the 15th, so you purchased 300 at 150, right? Is the purchase on the 15? Let me see. Yeah, okay. So, exactly, I'm going to go ahead and do the calculations here so you guys can see. We got the 5%. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, I did.
okay.
Yeah, I realized it. Oh, yeah, so I did.
Okay, so you could do that, and we solved that. We got 450, right? You could take that 450 and you can multiply it by that 5% to give you your total of the 2250. Okay, that's also one way that you can look at it as well. Okay, it should, remember, we can only take a discount off of the selling price. So in this case, I took my 300 multiplied by the 150 to get my 450 to multiply it by the 5% to give you the $22.50. Okay, so again, we can only take a discount off of the selling price. No freight, nothing else can be involved. All right. All right, question number 38. If on June 15 you found 30 broken toys, okay, and you wanted to return them for a full refund, okay, what is the correct entry?
B.
B.
P. Purchase returns and allowances for $45. Now, where did you get $45 from?
Because I timed the 30 broken toys times the price per toy, and it equals 45.
Good.
$1.50, yeah.
Yeah,
$1.50.
good. So there you go. You took 30, you multiply it by $1.50 to give you $45. So that is what your return is, right? Now you have to determine, is it a sale or is it a purchase? In this case, it was a purchase. So you have two options. You got 45 or 52. Now, if you calculated the freight included, you would have gotten 52. Okay, so make sure that you answer everything carefully because I do enter in answers that you could possibly get from doing the wrong thing. Okay, so make sure that you're very aware of exactly that you know what you're doing. Okay, so good. B, purchase returns and allowances for $45. Okay. Now, question 6, because we're doing returns as well, so I included that as well. So let me push this down real quick. Okay, so chapter 6, here we are. Okay, so on June 24th, okay, a customer returns 20 toys for defects, okay, and you give him a full refund. What is the correct entry?
D.
D.
D. Okay, so how did we figure that out?
Uh, 20 times 5
Right, because
dollars.
mm-hmm,
And then it's a sales returns and allowance because
good.
it was something you purchased.
Mm-hmm. So if you go back to the very top, right, to June 20th, right, we sold 250 items at, or 250 toys at $5. So my original price that I sold the toys was $5. So if we're getting a return of 20 toys times 5, which, right, Felipe, you said was $100, and because we are doing a sales returns and allowances, it is D for the $100. Sales returns allowance because we sold something, a customer decides to return it for this amount. Okay, so make sure you don't confuse the cost per item versus the selling price. Okay, you have to look at who is the person that you're dealing with. In this case, I'm dealing with the customer. The customer's returning to me. So what did I sell them for? Okay, and I sold it for $5 each. Excellent. Okay. Question number 40, okay? If there was a store-wide sale, okay, where all toys are 40% off on June 20th, okay, what is the discounted amount?
C.
C. Sales discount for $500. So let's take a look. Okay, so June 20th, once again, we sold 250 items at $5. Okay, which should give us a grand total of 1,250, right? We're going to multiply it by the store discount, which was 40%. So if you multiply by the 40%, you should get a total of $500, right? So there you go. And because it's a sales discount, not a purchase discount, because we're dealing with customers, therefore, that is your answer right here. Okay. We're not taking a discount off of what we originally purchased. It's based on the selling price. So just a little FYI. So good. Excellent. Okay.
So anytime we're dealing with the customers, it would be the sales discount or the sales returns, right?
Correct. Because you can only sell to a customer.
Right.
You can't sell to a vendor. Well, I mean, you can, but in this kind of scenario, you would typically sell to a customer. Okay, and you would only purchase from a vendor. Okay, so make sure you know who you're dealing with and which numbers you're dealing with. So if it's a purchase, you're dealing with the cost. If you're selling your items, you're dealing with the selling price. Okay. So that whole section was the purchase returns or sales returns and allowances, and also sales discounts. So last question here is to compute the lower cost of market. So here's the example here. Given that I originally purchased something at $3.75 each, the market's telling me it's now $3.66. I sell the item for $8. It's going to cost me 77 cents to dispose, and my amount of profit is $3.45. So, first things first, how do I solve for my ceiling price?
Take the selling price and subtract the disposal,
Which gives me a grand total of
$7.23.
$7.23. Okay. What's my floor going to be? $3.78. Okay, so you took the 723, subtract the 345, and you got, what was it? $3 and 78 cents. Okay. Now let's compare and contrast the three numbers. We have our ceiling at 723. We have our floor at 378, and we have our replacement cost at 366.
Floor price will become the market price.
Correct, because 366 is significantly lower than 378. Okay, if you put it on a number line, 378 would be in the middle. Okay, so therefore, let's determine which one's lower, my original cost or my market cost. So 375 compared to 378. So which one's lower?
Original cost.
The original cost of 375. So therefore, your answer is C. Okay? Oh, can't even highlight that. C. Come on. Okay? And that's pretty much your study guide for the exam there, right? If you need more examples, right? Go back and go through all the exercises, right? I posted all the answers for a reason, so you guys can go back through the exercises and compute them over and over and over again, okay? So use all the materials on there. Use all the exercises. If you need more examples of, calculating the cost, okay? I have 5 examples, right? I have the one on the PowerPoint. I have each, each section that we've done, I've computed, each example of each costing method. And I've also done the review with you guys, right? The chapter 5 review. We went through every single one. So Again, you have many, many examples of everything here. We even have the example for the 6.4, right? I gave you a whole sheet of examples. Utilize that to calculate so you for surely know how to calculate your, your ceiling, your floor, your market, and your lower cost of market. Okay? Any questions in regards to this? I will post the answers to the study guide in the study materials section.
Quick question. Can you explain question 18 again? I'm for some reason I got the answer. I just keep questioning myself, and I'm like, I'm not sure if that's right. It's
All right.
chapter 4.
18. Let me see. Chapter 4, 18. Okay. So the question is, which of the following...
Accounting cycle. Yeah.
Okay. Let's take a look. Okay. Which steps belong to the accounting cycle? All right. If you pull up chapter 7, I'm sorry, chapter 4, right? I list out all 10 steps, correct? So let's compare.
Yeah.
First one, collecting your source documents.
Yes.
Okay, that's for sure a step. What about analyze and sort the data?
Do
Yes.
we analyze? Yeses.
Yeah, that's step number 2.
Okay.
Right, remember? We have to analyze the data before and sort them out before we can journalize it, right?
Yes.
And then step 3 is to journalize it. Okay? Once we complete step 3, what comes after that?
The ledger.
The ledger. All right, so that's definitely part 4 is definitely you're going to post it to the general ledger. Okay. Do we need to prepare a trial balance?
Oh, yeah. Yes, debit and credits.
Yes, debit and credits, good. All right. Do we need to do our adjustments?
Credits are discounts. So, yes.
Yes. Okay, so adjustments are things that you do at the end of the given period. Do we need to prepare an adjusted trial balance?
That I don't know.
Look at your steps to the accounting cycle. Okay, so yes, because we're making our adjustments, right? We're utilizing the journal once again, and we're also utilizing the ledger once again. We want to ensure that when we make our adjustments, if we complete the adjusted trial balance, we can confirm that our debits and credits that we created in the adjustment entries, we can validate that we did it correctly by ensuring that our accounts balance on both debit and credit side. So when we do our adjustments, okay, so this is a little, I guess, a pre-notion. When we're doing our adjustments, right, we're taking from one account and placing it to another account. We want to ensure that by us taking a certain amount from one account and distributing to another account, we want to make sure we did that properly. So in order to do that, we need to complete an adjusted trial balance to ensure the accuracy of our accounting, right? To make sure our debits and credits match up one more time. Okay? What goes after the adjusted trial balance?
I have a question.
Yes.
If you're scrolling down, your screen froze again.
No, I am still on the same one.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, no, I'm still on the accounting cycle. Okay. So then once we've finished our adjusted trial balance, what comes next?
Financial statements.
We must complete the financial statements. Remember all 4 of them, right? Our income statement, our statement of equity, our balance sheet, and our statement of cash flows. Once we do that, what comes after that?
End the month, we do take inventory, gonna close the books, then make sure the debits and the credits match up.
Correct. So out of these little 10 items,
So
do they all belong?
oh yes, okay. I'm like, no, I was like, wait, did I miss something? Am I like, I was jumping around in my head with this. I know we went over it, and I'm like, on the video last night. I watched a little bit of it, didn't get quite there, so I
Mhm.
figured I'd take my time. So it is going to be D, all the above.
Correct. All of these belong to the accounting cycle. Yes, all these steps belong to the accounting cycle. Okay. Right? It's not just 1, 2, and 3. It's not just 4, 5, and 6, and it's definitely not 7, 8, 9, and 10. It is all of them. They all belong to them.
You do know you're not showing all of them though, right?
What do you mean?
I think
Your
you're pretty.
your screen froze. That's why I was telling you when you can't scroll down. The only thing we can see is prepare trial balance, and then it says meetgoogle.com is sharing your screen.
Oh,
It was
okay.
5.
Okay, okay. Well, I have all 10 of them displayed right now. So, yeah, sorry about that. There's something going on. I think there's a bug on my computer. I just have to um do a few IT stuff and maybe it will work sooner or later. Okay? Is that all the questions? Any other question?
I'm good.